my opinion of what I believe Feel It Real means by Neville. And it's going to be different than the majority of what these other people on YouTube are talking about. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. Hey everyone, it's Kim Velez, a conscious life and success coach, and I am really excited to be here with you today. And I really wanted to do this because I've always had my own interpretation because I actually practice this stuff. Not saying other people don't, but I'm living and breathing this every single day. So it's really interesting as I go through this journey and process what ends up developing in my mind and kind of the clarity and the insight and understanding that I gain because I am implementing this on a daily basis. So when we're talking about feeling it real. So many other people on YouTube talk about that you need to feel it real and you have to feel this emotion in order for it to manifest. So that is not true. Our thoughts are what create our reality. Our thoughts also create our emotions. So you can't have an emotion without a thought that precedes it, whether it's a mental image, you hear something in your mind, an auditory type of experience, or you're just, thinking to yourself. It always starts with a thought. But what I wanted to talk today about Feel It Real means is this. It means that you feel as if it's already happened. So what does that mean? So I actually had this hit me this morning in such a clear way where I was manifesting something with my SP because my SP has been really coming in hot and conforming and just having a beautiful experience with him. So this morning I was in my mind and I was focusing on, something I'm creating in my reality. And what I noticed was because I have done this so much, that in that moment, I felt like this memory, this future memory that I'm creating for myself that actually did not transpire in the 3D yet, I felt as if it already happened. I felt as if I was pulling it up like an old memory from my past and the way I was connected to it was as if I already experienced it and I was just replaying this memory. And that was really interesting because I never believed that Feel It Real meant you have to feel these big emotions anyways, because you don't feel like that when you're in a relationship all the time. So that's not the end goal. To be a millionaire doesn't mean you feel this sense of, relief or power all the time. It's different emotions you experience because there's different thoughts. But when you change your dominant story, your state does shift dominantly. So we wanted to look at that. But feeling it real is about feeling as whatever you're creating in your internal mind is already in existence. You're already experiencing it. And I mean it in the sense of, this is hard to explain. It's different than feeling an emotion. It feels as if you've already had this happen. So when I was playing that memory, it took me a second that I had not manifested yet in the 3D reality. But because I have been living dominantly in my mind in this reality that I desire, and I've dominantly been this version for quite a while of, overcoming all my self-concept issues, that anytime if I am triggered, it's a really quick, I get over it really fast in a matter of minutes because my dominant state is now in the wish fulfilled. My dominant state is the version of me that has overcome her past insecurities and past fears and limitations that were keeping me from receiving the love that I want. So having gone through that process, because in my internal state dominantly, this is who I've been with my SP. Now my SP's he's been in my life, but he's really coming in hot and very consistent, very different version than I've ever manifested in my life. I like this version a lot. And it's when I was replaying this memory, this future memory, and the thoughts and, having the inner conversations with him in this moment, it has not manifested in the 3D realm yet. But as I was recalling it in my mind, it literally felt like I have already had this happen in my life and I'm pulling it up and replaying the memory. When you pull up something that actually happened in your past and you revisit that memory, that's how it felt. So that's what Feel It Real to me means. It means that this is your reality, that when you're dwelling in your mind, your dominant state has been saturated so much, you visited this experience so much in your mind, this reality, this experience of you, this experience of your person, money, whatever it is you want to manifest, that it just feels like it's happening, it's already happened. It's not necessarily about these heightened emotions and all these things that these people, mislead people with and then set people up on not a good track, because then everybody's trying to force themselves to feel these things, and they're trying to maintain this high elated emotion that is humanly impossible to maintain. And Neville was very clear. I love how people love to leave out half of Neville's teachings. Neville was very clear about you can't remain in one state. It's just dominantly staying in the state. So if you dominantly were living the life you wanted, what would your dominant state be? It would be more relaxed and calm and peace and feeling secure, especially with relationships. Same thing with the amount of money. There is no anxiety and stress and worry. That's not your dominant state if you're in something healthy and stable. If you're feeling loved all the time, you feel special, you feel cherished. So that would all come into play, and that would be your dominant thought pattern. You'd be thinking from that version of you. Any loops you're playing in your mind, whether you've already manifested them and you're recalling them, or you're focusing on creating future memories, but they're feeling real, you're pulling them up in your mind, you're saturating your internal world for this to be your experience. And by doing that, especially with the mental diet and constantly affirming, you're reprogramming your state for you to be this version of you. So your feelings will always shift because your thoughts create your emotions. So this is why in the beginning, when you start redoing your self-concept, or you start focusing on the version of someone you want in your life that hasn't been showing up that way, or a different reality for yourself, it doesn't feel real because your dominant thoughts, say that again, your dominant thoughts, I don't know why I'm doing air quotes, but let's just go with it. Your dominant thoughts are what fucking create your emotions. So in that beginning, you're not genuinely in that dominant state of who is in the wish fulfilled. In the beginning, you're reprogramming, and there's thousands and thousands of thoughts that say otherwise, which are creating all those emotions that say otherwise. So when you first start this process, you don't automatically believe it, you have not assumed it, and you don't know it to be yet. And that's okay. Nobody does when they first start. And so you work yourself by your mental diet as well as other techniques constantly to keep moving yourself into the version where it starts to become very normal. It starts to feel real to think these things on your own, to start feeling differently, to start feeling empowered, to start feeling like you are not stuck in your old self. And that can take some time, especially when you're triggered. But back to the script of today's video about feeling it real. Feeling it real is not about having elated emotions. It's about feeling the experience in you as if it's already transpired in your life, like you do when you pull up an actual event that has transpired in your life. There's a very different feeling. Like this is how powerful our brain is. I literally did like this morning because I was like, wait a minute. Like almost like I had to check myself to be like, hold up, girl, in your physical reality, this is not transpired yet, because it felt so fucking real, like it already has happened. And it wasn't the elated emotion, it was the feelingness, as if like deja vu, like I already experienced this, but it was even more intense than deja vu. So this is what I believe. I've been doing this process. I practice what I preach. I have manifested my SP and I'm having him conform right in front of my eyes. I have overcome my old insecurities, where now my dominant self-concept is fucking knowing her worth and value. And even if I'm triggered a little bit here and there, I move myself out of it very, very quickly. I have turned myself into this amazing woman when it came to my self-concept and love. So I have put in the hard work, and I'm sharing with you guys a lot of what I have been experienced in this process and along the way of what's getting me results and what wasn't. So don't fucking worry about anyone else. Don't worry and compare yourself with other people's journey. Your journey is your journey alone. And at the end of the day, all you're doing is getting out of your way, because I promise you, they do want to come in and give you everything you want, but your story has kept them apart from being able to do that. And once you understand that and the power, and you trust in it, and you allow things to unfold, and you simply look at your 3D as information, just information, and allow it to show you where your attention needs to be going, because it's going to let you know if it's in the right direction or not. And then you just shift and refocus and persist in that. This has to follow. And I know it can take some time to get there. It took me a little bit of time, but I don't ever care, because I still win. you're gonna win too. That's what this whole game is about. It's just about you. So feeling it real is, it feels like you've already experienced it. Like it's so natural, it's part of your life. You've already had it. It was very interesting the way it hit me this morning, and I wanted to share my take on it. And listen, if you feel like you need support, you certainly don't. I don't withhold anything on any of my free platforms. I give away every fucking thing. I give it away to everybody free, but if you feel like you want to work with me, if you feel like you want more hand-holding or more support, then I have your back. I have 2 online courses that are, my 2 top-selling online courses: How to Manifest Your SP Back and Keep Them for Good, as well as You Are the Prize, all about your self-concept and love. You can find those in the description box below. It's on my website. I also have my monthly coaching group where I show up once a month, live Zoom for about 2.5 hours. I coach as many people as I possibly can. Can't guarantee you'll get picked that month, but we go hard and we talk about everything we need to talk about of whatever you need support with that month. And then in that group as well, you have each other to have your back in a special group. And I also do a special audio training once a month as well, where I just share whatever I feel like the group needs, questions you guys are asking me, what seems to be coming up, and I really dive deep and share an audio training to support you as well once a month. So there's lots of goodies in there, and you will have the support that you need. If it's something you're interested in, it's cheap as fuck. It's only $49 a month. I can't beat that. And the support is amazing. So all this stuff can be found in the description box below. I also, next quarter, or this quarter, I should say, I'm going to start relaunching some of my live paid programs where you get to have an experience with me for several weeks. If you're interested in that, check out my website and just get on the wait list so you'll be the first to know of whichever one you're interested in. All right, I love you all. See you later.